welcome to another episode of American Masterpiece Theater. I'm your host, Henry Millman. Tonight, we will be discussing in Sid Fleischman's biography, Escape, the story of the great Houdini. Sid Fleischman is the author of numerous children's stories, including The Giant Rat of Sumatra, Bandit's Moon, The 13th Floor, and The Whipping Boy, for which he won the Newbery Award. When he was a teenager, trained to become a magician himself, Fleischman had known Harry Houdini's wife, Bess. In 2006, he finally got around to writing a biography about his childhood hero, the great Houdini. Harry Houdini was born in 1874 under the name of Erich Weiss in Budapest, Hungary. Not, as Houdini later insisted, in Appleton, Wisconsin. His family was extremely poor and moved to Appleton when he was very young, following his father, Rabbi Meir Samuel Weiss. The small Jewish community of 15 families hired Dr. Weiss as their first resident rabbi. Young Erich ran away from home when he was only 12 years old and got a job as a cutter at a necktie factory in New York City. While he was working at the factory, he was also learning the skills of a magician. He left his job and joined a circus, where he met and married another performer, Bess Rahner, in 1894, 2 weeks after meeting her. Erich adopted the name Houdini after the famous French magician Jean-Robert Houdin. One of Houdini's earliest and most famous tricks was one he called metamorphosis. Houdini would be tied up, thrown in a sack, and then padlocked in a chest. Then a screen was brought out and placed to veil Houdini's antics. Bess would step behind the screen and announce to his audience, "When I clap 3 times, prepare to behold a miracle." After the 3rd clap, Houdini would burst out from behind the screen. Moving it aside, he'd open the chest, take out the bag, with Bess tied up in ropes as he had been. The metamorphosis was now complete. It was while he was with the circus that Houdini claimed to have performed his first jailbreak. As Houdini told the story, the circus arrived in a small town near Providence, Rhode Island. Because it was against the law to perform on the Sabbath, the entire troupe was arrested and thrown into jail. Miserable in her tight cell, the fat lady bursts into sobs. Houdini, ever chivalrous, breaks into action. Waiting until the sheriff is gone, the magician borrows a hairpin from Bess. He picks the lock of the cell door and lets the fat lady out. He also frees the other performers. Here's a picture of the circus, but where is the fat lady? After a pretty successful career in the U.S., the Houdinis moved to Europe and made headlines everywhere, from Russia to London. While preparing to return to America, Houdini received a challenge from the London Daily Illustrated newspaper to escape handcuffs that no mortal man could pick. Houdini accepted the challenge. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, some 4,000 Londoners showed up for the historic contest. The event had the air and anticipation of a bullfight. "I am ready," announced the monarch of manacles. Ovation. A newspaperman snapped the cuffs around Houdini's wrists, and then turned the key 6 times, thus securing the bolt as firmly as possible. Houdini looked worried, but retired to his ghost house. The orchestra played, and played, and played on. Bess, standing in the wings, became so tense and anxious that she had to leave the theater. Finally, the great Houdini stepped through the curtains. Free! He displayed the handcuffs with their claws wide open like dead lobsters. Reported the Mirror, a mighty roar of gladness went up. Men waved their hats. She shook hands with the other. Ladies waved their handkerchiefs. The committee shouldered Houdini and bore him in triumph around the arena. Not only was his reputation for invincibility secured, Houdini was becoming the sort of hero that myths are made of. Houdini's next feat involved making an elephant disappear. It was 1918, and Houdini was booked into the enormous New York Hippodrome, a theater holding more than 5,000 patrons. With the announcement they intended to vanish a 10,000-pound Asian elephant, he filled every seat. On the evening of January 7th, Houdini strode onto the stage, wearing a black frock coat, a stiff collar, and a white cravat. He's only slightly better dressed than the elephant who came trotting out. Named Jeannie, she wore a festive baby blue ribbon around her neck and sported a timepiece on her ankle. She gave Houdini a kiss with her trunk, waved goodbye to the audience, and marched into a wheeled box raised some 2 feet off the stage. At any rate, Jeannie couldn't have gone through a trap door in the floor, since the Hippodrome stage was built over a vast swimming pool used in water numbers. After a few playful remarks, Houdini clapped his hands together as if to strike sparks. The doors of the cabinet were thrown open. The elephant was gone, vanished. Even today, magicians disagree on how he did it and offer conflicting methods. Mirrors, double walls, black art? One of the guesses is bound to be right, but which? One thing is certain. The elephant didn't go up Houdini's sleeve. Houdini was one of the earliest magicians to realize that the new invention of the motion picture was, in fact, a whole new type of magic and illusion. He starred in several movies before starting his own production company. Houdini's first full-length feature film was The Grim Game in 1919. In this scene, Houdini's character climbs a rope between 2 planes in midair. As you can see, the planes unfortunately tangled and crashed, but the cameras kept rolling and Houdini rewrote the script to include the crash. Always the showman, Houdini is shown saving the heroine from the wreckage, although in reality it was a stunt double that was used in the actual crash. Later in his career, Houdini strived to debunk the techniques used by spiritualists, charlatans who use magicians' tricks to convince the audience that they could contact the dead. One of Houdini's greatest triumphs was over Marjorie Crandon, a medium who claimed to speak in the voice of her dirty-mouthed dead brother, Walter. Walter could cause items to fly around the room as well as speak through Marjorie. Houdini showed the public how Marjorie would throw items by using her head under a table or balancing a megaphone on her head, then launching it away. On October 18th, 1926, Houdini met with 3 college students backstage. One of them, a boxer, asked him if it was true that he could take a hard blow to the abdomen. Houdini, absent-mindedly, said yes. The student then asked about testing it, and Houdini nodded, not paying attention. The boxer delivered 4 quick blows. Soon after, Houdini's appendix ruptured, and he died several days later on Halloween, 1926. Houdini's younger brother, Dash, cut out Houdini's pajama pocket as the last memento. Houdini has arisen from his grave like a mist of ectoplasm to become one of the immortals. His sidewalk star blazes up on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. More astonishing than his famous trunk trick, he pulled off a metamorphosis from a dime museum trickster to the greatest magician in history. Not bad for a kid who used to roll up his cuffs and say, "There ain't nothing up my sleeves." Sid Fleischman's Escape, the story of the great Houdini, is a joy to read and would be enjoyable to almost anyone, especially those who are interested in escapes and magic. Throughout the book, the theme of family appears again and again, from Harry's adoration of his wife, Bess, to his devotion to his mother, upon whom he spent the modern equivalent of thousands of dollars to buy a beautiful dress. Another major theme in the book is the theme of self-invention, where Houdini even gave himself a new name and arose like a phoenix from the ashes of Erich Weiss, the poor, short Jewish son of a rabbi, to become the most famous magician of all time. This is Henry Millman saying good night from American Masterpiece Theater.